Okay, so I know there's a huge glare right here. I'll try to not put cards quite as much right there. But anyway, so this is the deck that I ended up playing with. I'm going to discuss kind of what I did, how I made it, and why I chose it. Even though a lot of it is pretty obvious if you're familiar with any of the cards. So I had 9 plains and 9 swamps. I had one warped landscape right here. Um, so my idea with keeping the warped landscape in here was, oh, well, I can just search through my lands. If I need to, it could save me. Um, I didn't use it other than once when I had nothing more to do with my mana, and it just allowed me to get one less card in the deck so that I was closer to finding one of the other cards. Um, Aside from the land, I will go over real quick the enchantments that I had. So I had Faith Unbroken, where +2/+2, and when it is equipped to a creature, I can exile another target creature the opponent controls until Faith Unbroken leaves, which was really helpful. One of my few removal type, and it was a boost to me. Peace of Mind helped out a whole lot. It allowed me to discard a card, enable Madness to bring back cards that I discarded, and it gave me 3 life. It was a real lifesaver. Graph Harvest, it was okay. I think I used it once well. It's 1 cost to give your zombies menace. Pretty decent for a zombie deck. I didn't have a ton of zombies other than one of the games where I got the token from Liliana, and I think by the time I won, I had 18, about to double with 2 more zombies again. Um, it's okay if you're in a sticky situation and you have a bunch of mana and you just need to get creatures. That's kind of what I used it for, to exile a creature and then not get a zombie. Let's go ahead and go on to these sorceries that I used. So, Iron Rites Cleansing. Didn't use it other than maybe I think once. Um, but the reason I had it was because it was the only uh, removal card that I really had as far as just a normal removal card. And so that was definitely a weakness in my deck, was removal, especially of creatures, because this doesn't even do anything to creatures. Um, we had the 2/2 black zombie creature tokens into the battlefield. Madness for 2 and a black. Great card to discard and play for even cheaper. Gives me 2 zombies. Awesome for this deck. Shambling Back only costs 1 black to put. I do have to exile a target creature, but it's from a graveyard. So I didn't realize until probably I think the second or third time that I played it that I could do it on their creatures. Um, but either way, it worked out. I got to put a 2/2 black zombie and gain 2 life for 1 black. Definitely an awesome card for me to have played and sealed. So now we're going to get on to just the commons, uncommons of white creatures that I had. Um, Therbin Inspector, I mean, it was a 1 drop for a 1/2. Uh, that gives you a token, an investigate, a clue. I did pop the clue multiple times every single time that I had Therbin out because I ended up needing the card draw. Steadfast Cathiar, um, whenever it attacks, it gains +0/+2 until end of turn. Didn't use it for too much other than kind of just a shield to throw out there or exiling it once it was in my graveyard. Um, then the nice thing about anything flying is that it's flying. So these were a lifesaver, this one and the one other flying creature that I had, for anyone who was playing heavy flying, or as on my side, where I could attack over their heads, because flying isn't super common in every single pack. Then we had Extractor of Sin, Human Cleric, awesome card. I didn't play it right, I think the first 1 or 2 times that I did it. But you're able to sacrifice another target permanent. Oftentimes this happened to be land to get a 3/2 Eldrazi Horror onto the battlefield. As well as if you have Delirium, 4 different card types in your graveyard, which I did at 1 or 2 different points, you can flip it and it becomes a 3/5. Eldrazi you control have Vigilance, and you can sacrifice a non-Eldrazi creature to put a 3/2 Eldrazi Horror onto the battlefield. So awesome. I didn't get to use him as much as I would have liked, but still really good. Then we had Shieldmate right here. Did use this card multiple times as just like a flash spell. I would use it as just kind of a defense. They'd attack, I'd defend with some of my creatures, and throw this out there in front of one of theirs, to give my creatures not only +0/+1 until end of turn, but also just as another shield. Faithbearer Paladin, lifelink, 5 cost, probably wouldn't be very good in standard or anything outside of sealed, unless you're running some sort of humans deck. Still might be okay, but I feel like there's better cards for lifelink if that's what you're going for. 3/4 was pretty good. It was definitely a solid card, and I already talked about those ones. So then go on to the black that I played. So Asylum Visitor was awesome because I was definitely out of cards in my hand multiple different times, and I could cast it for Madness. Not that the Madness cost less than its normal one, but it was still nice for that gaining life for the 3 and still being able to play it. Liliana's Elite, +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Awesome card for sealed or standard. I'm sure it'll definitely probably see some sort of play in standard, and the zombie decks where you're just milling yourself, putting it in the graveyard, or just having a huge graveyard that you can pick from and choose. Sursidag Supplicant, I'm not sure how to exactly say that, but discard a card, each player loses 2 life for 1 black and tapping. Didn't really use that ability a whole lot. It would have been nice towards the end of a game where I'm close to beating someone but can't really get any attacks in. But I didn't actually use it for that because most of the time I had this either at the beginning of the game or other times where they killed it before it was worth using the ability, but still a good card. Crow of Dark Tidings, again, like I said, flying, anything. When it enters, I get to put the top 2 cards into my graveyard, which worked for the Madness and with one of Liliana's abilities. Whenever a creature dies with Unhallowed, again, I don't know how to say it the first part completely right, but you get a 1/1 counter, and this thing got pretty big throughout the pre-release. And then you had Graph Rats and Midnight Scavengers. Midnight Scavengers was nice because I could bring back a card from the graveyard, including Graph Rats, and they meld together if you have both of them at the same time at the beginning of your combat into a 5/6 Eldrazi Horror. So I did get this 2 or 3 times. Has haste, menace, and all the other creatures you control when it transforms get +1/+0 and have menace. So that was also very good and very awesome. And then we'll go into Liliana and why she was good, and then we'll go on to the other 3 that are like an impossible combination pull. So Liliana, the Last Hope. I used her +1 a lot, just -2/-1, very solid, helps protect, and I could easily block, defend. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's her -2. You can use that right away. I definitely messed up on one of the games that I was playing because I went ahead and uh, I took the top 2 cards off, put them in the graveyard, and then took one of those 2 and put it in play. I don't know why. That was what I thought you were supposed to do because I had played it correctly before, but it ended up losing me the game. That was the only game that I lost. Um, but yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. Yeah, I could have gotten uh, uh, Gisela back and things like that if I had paid attention and done it correctly. Along with that, I did get the emblem once. Oh my gosh, did the zombies stack up fast. They just double and double and double +2 and double that +2. Amazing card for, I guess, any type of play. And then I had Thalia's Lancer. Great card because it allowed me to search my deck for the legendary creatures. First strike, 4/4, 5, and I got to go search for one of those. Amazing. Definitely played that almost every single game. Then Thalia, again, very solid. I could search and find her whenever they were to put a creature or non-land into play. It entered tapped, again, leaving them open or just slowing them down. Cancels out anything that has haste, basically. Very solid, very awesome. And then Gisela. So flying, first strike, lifelink, 4/4, 4/4 mana, 4/3 at the beginning of your end step if you own both. I did not own Bruna, sadly, but yeah, so it was definitely an awesome set, an awesome pre-release. I won every single game other than one, and that one was against my best friend, so I can't really complain about losing that one. But yeah, along with everything, I think it was an awesome pre-release. I did very well, picked up the new playing mat, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed seeing kind of what my pre-release experience was like, and hope you have a good at yours, or had a good at yours, had a good experience at your previous one, or will at whatever next one you might be going to. And have a good rest of your day.